Hi, this is Davey. Listen, I want to show you something. Do you see that piece of code right here? That piece of code has an issue, and I would like you to look at it closely and then see how you will use it and try to understand where the issue is. Okay, so before I go there, let me show you something. I've been working with a lot of companies, helping them fix their JavaScript to TypeScript migration. And one of the things I always do with them is to show them example of code that basically go like that in TypeScript that when they use their JavaScript, they can quickly see like, oh, damn, that thing was actually a big issue, and then they start improving from there. So I'm going to do that with you right there, but it's actually really, really sweet. So I would like you to really focus on what is about to happen right there. Look at this code one more time, because by the end of this video, it won't look like that anymore. So imagine that you want to write a function that sends a message based on a few information. We're gonna first use the user info, which is going to be user info here. And then we're gonna have the message that we would like to send. Okay, so what you see there is basically a function that will basically, based on that communication channel, it will either send a text message through the phone or an email. And then if it's a phone, it will pick this part. If it's an email, it will pick this part. Okay, so that sounds quite trivial, right? So let's actually do that. So what we will do here is to go with the switch and basically say a user info communication channel, and based on that, TypeScript is going to be happy here because it's going to look at, oh, there is a possibility for an email, and then there is a possibility for a phone, right? So we go here and then say phone here, right? Now, until now, you should look at it and think trivial, right? So look at this. Now, I have two functions in my message. One is send text, and then another one is send email. They both take a message to start, but then the send text takes a phone number and the country code, right? And then the send email takes the email directly. So let's go back here and try to apply that. When it's an email, we want to send email, right? And then the email will first get the message, and then the email, right? What is the email? The email is going to be in the user dot communication channel, not really, is going to be on email, and then we get the address. Look, this here, it is a valid JavaScript code, but look at here, TypeScript isn't happy with it. Why? It is not happy because user.email is not, it could be undefined. Like the address here could be undefined because that email, it's actually email, like it's written here, it says it could be undefined. That's literally what it says. You're gonna receive an email or something that is undefined. Email, we define it right there, right? And then phone also up there. So at this point, you will ask yourself, what would you do if you were a TypeScript developer? So there are two approaches that you can go about it. Even in JavaScript, you can approach it in this way. So you will say, if the user.email dot address is, so you want to make sure that that part is actually defined. We're gonna put it this way, typing is different than undefined. Then you will want to do something like that. So let's use a proper syntax right there. So you could do it this way, but then I can hear already TypeScript developer being like, hey, let's actually use a different syntax. So let me comment out this part and then use a different syntax that says TypeScript, based on what I know, that address will be there when needed, right? So you could actually use that exclamation point, and then TypeScript will know that, hey, I'm not gonna bother you with this anymore because I know that by the time it's needed, it's gonna be there. but that's you telling TypeScript that you know your shit. You know the thing you should be doing, right? So same thing right here. So you're gonna have like a send text with the phone, and then you get a message, and then you will, with that message, you will pass a phone number, which is in the user phone dot number, and then the code, and then here you say country code. Now, but you can do exactly the same thing right here, and you will be completely right. Your application should work pretty well, and then so on and so forth, right? But you could actually redesign your application so that you don't have to go in that direction. You don't have to put that exclamation point there, and that is basically what we would like to do right here. So let me pause here for a second and then talk to you one more time. So I'm gonna put the link to this repo in the comment, and if you want to pause here and try to solve it on your own, that will be great. Actually, I'm working on an application called raw.dev that allows people to be tested in a really efficient way. And this exercise there is one of the exercises that I try with a few candidates, where I ask them like, what is the problem in that code? And that was not something random. It came from an existing code base. We just change a little bit the variables here and there, but this is a real world scenario that we use right there. So let me go back into the code and then try to then solve it here. So what do we do? The first idea here is to say, how can we make sure that if phone is selected, then phone here is available? And the way you could do that, you could achieve that, is actually by removing it from here and then create a property type over there. So I'm just gonna say type, and this one is going to be phone, and then we just gonna yank the entire thing here and then do it right here. So what we just did there, we basically said that at the email level or at the phone level, we had that type, right? I could actually add that in line, but let me put it in a separate way so you see clearly what was done right there. Then with that, it means that here we could then say, hey, that thing is either a phone or an email, right? So that basically it. So from that point on, the user.communication channel here, we can then check on the type. By doing so, we're still good, right? We arrive at the place where we're looking at the email here, and then right inside here, instead of using user.email, we will find that information directly in a communication channel. So we go here and say, let me go back here, replace everything that is user dot with, and we're gonna go to the next level, and then we're gonna go with user dot communication channel. So if we did it well, we can actually get rid of all of this. Let me go all the way at the end, to the end here, and now you see it's kind of, it is working. Let me move this on the other line so you could see that is actually working. So we didn't, like, by default, we're basically saying like, hey, if you have a type which is phone, this entire thing will be available. Same thing here, it will be available. So that is basically the way you will do it right there. So that's already one first level. Okay, so you start having the fact that you're not using this question mark because you want to make sure that TypeScript, no, this is basically doing JavaScript in TypeScript when you start using this question mark and exclamation point. There are use cases for it. It's important that you understand it, but in this case we could do way better. Now let's move on to one more step. I'm still in the testing part where I use that on the raw platform to basically get people to think with them and see how they will solve that problem. Now, here is another problem that will occur with this piece of code. We have a send message here. We send that to the user, and we have two different channels. What if we were to add a third channel? So let's go here, and then we're going to yank that. put it right there, and we're going to have like a push notification, right? A push notification is going to have an ID and the name of the service, okay? And then here we're gonna have a push, which means that now in the communication channel, we could have, let me add that over here. We could have a push, right? Now, as you can see, now that we added a push, our application is still working. There is nowhere here where our application is complaining like, hey, there is a push implementation missing, right? So yeah, this could be a blocking point, and it's something you might not even see, but it's actually there. So how you will fix it for the future, like imagine that you keep adding new communication channel over time. You want to make sure that just by adding the communication channel, your application knows that a missing implementation is there. You have that by default in like a lot of native functional programming languages that will, just by doing this, they will already like not compile. Literally just stop compiling right there. So the way you can achieve that with something like TypeScript is basically go ahead here and say, we're gonna create a variable at the end where there is the default. We're gonna say that variable, we're gonna call that never reached, because we don't want this part to ever be reached. Like if it is reached, it means that a use case hasn't been implemented. Okay, let me pause here again for a second and explain that. You have 3 cases, and then there is a 4th case, which is the default. In our case, we had actually 2, and then we add a 3rd one. When we add the 3rd one, it didn't do anything. It was just like, yeah, we're fine. But actually, the push wasn't implemented. So it means that the 2 plus the default are 3 cases. But actually, there are 3 cases plus the default possible. By using what I'm about to show you right now, it will always make sure that it counts the number of cases possible, and then it will tell you that, hey, there is a case you forgot. It won't really point out at exactly the case that are missing, but at least it will let you know that, hey, there is a place there that you forgot to handle. So the way you implement that, you can use a never keyword here and basically say, hey, this variable will be assigned. You will assign that to the user.communication.type. Right, and then from that point on, what you do is we're just gonna throw a new error here, and in that error we're gonna use the never reach variable this way. Or you could go ahead and implement that, like just have a nice message that says that thing will never be reached, and so on and so forth. So you see now that it's red, it is red because there is a 3rd case that is not implemented. That's exactly why it's red. I'll show you right away. Let's go right here. Let's yank the phone part, put it there, and then we're going to put it here, you see. And now here, I'm gonna go with push. From the moment I say there is a push here, what did I do wrong here? Oh yeah, okay, it's complaining about the type over there, but yeah, I know how to handle that. So what you're going to do is just to go with the type here, and I'm gonna put it over there. We're gonna create a type variable like this way, and now we go ahead and say this entire thing is type, right? Now what we do is say we're gonna switch on the type part. If it's an email, this one goes. If it's a phone, this one goes. And if there's a push, it will do the push implementation. But once again, if you remove that, you're going to see that the never reach is turns red, because it's like, hey, you didn't implement that. And when I put it back, it shows that it is there. So this is already 1 inch further in your implementation, and there are so many benefits in using that, and that could be seen for a lot of people as advanced TypeScript thing, but as you start playing with TypeScript, you realize that these are the goodies you get for free in the thing. So I already shown you 3 levels of TypeScript right there. At first, we were using here the string type, like phone, email, and then by using the type like phone, email, and push, we were able to make sure that when you select a certain type, then you can access, you make sure that all these properties are available within the how you call that, the block where that email is contained. And then by using the never, actually the main important thing there is the never keyword, we make sure that if you get there, it means that you forgot a use case, and then that will make your code like future-proofed, right? So that's basically it. Now, I'm going to stop here for this video, and there is actually a way to still improve this code so that it becomes even easier to maintain over time. Okay, so if you're new to this YouTube channel, my name is Davey. I'm a software engineer. I like to build a lot of stuff, and I like to share my knowledge in this way, like really taking topics and going a little bit deeper in it. You can watch all my previous video, and none of them is going to be a hype thing. It will be really focused on taking a fundamental concept and distill that in a way that it's easy for people to understand. So please subscribe. That helps the channel a lot. And I will see you with the next video. You take care. Cheers.